All right, guys, today I figured I'd get on here and talk a little bit about the emotional state and the mental feelings you'll have while cutting. I get this a lot, but as you can see from the title, why you feel flat and small and quote unquote soft when you're cutting. First of all, the main reason is carbohydrates are going to be held in the muscle cell as glycogen. So when you cut the calories, 9 times out of 10, you're usually cutting calories from carbs, as you should. Try and keep your fats and proteins the same and just cut from carbs. Or in a bulking state, just increase carbs to bulk. But when you pull carbs out or pull calories out after a week or so, you're going to lose muscle fullness because glycogen is filling out the muscle. So you could call it a fake look, but periodically and over the course of the week, you're eating carbs. Meal one, meal two, meal three, meal four, meal five, good amount of carbs. And then when you flip into a cut or a diet phase, some of the meals probably will go pretty low carb, even without. And a lot of my guys, I'll have them do no carb the last meal, just pineapple. They get the carbohydrates through fructose, which is going to lead to obviously you're not going to fill your shirt out as much and you're going to feel smaller. The pumps in the gym aren't going to be as good because the muscle glycogen isn't just sitting in the muscle waiting to be trained. That's the number one thing. And a lot of guys come to me like, oh, I feel small, I'm losing muscle. It's like, no, you're just losing glycogen out of the muscle. Your body's not breaking down amino acids yet. If you stay in the gym and you keep an adequate amount of protein, you continue to send the signal to build muscle, you're not going to lose much muscle at all, if any. And you'll lose the look and the fullness because the lack of food's not there. And the bad pump in the gym, too, also doesn't mean you're losing muscle. It just means your cut's probably going well. As long as you're not losing a crazy amount of strength, you should be fine. And then once you introduce the food back in, periodically, maybe a cheat meal here and there, or when you do rebound into a growing phase or even a bulk, you will notice the fullness come back tenfold in your body, and your insulin levels or your A1C levels will be primed for growth at that point. So when you do add the food back in, you're going to fill right back out and start to fill your shirts back out again. Yeah, mentally it's not easy to deal with at all, especially in those longer cuts, 20, 30, 40 weeks sometimes. If you can continue to fire the metabolism, it's still not easy. Every workout's less pumped up, less fun, less enjoyable. And then that middle part too, that I call it the fat flat stage. And it's like you're fat and flat at the same time before your body has fully gotten that last layer of fat off and you're depleted with muscle glycogen, so your muscles aren't pumped up and you just look like this watery mess that doesn't train at all. That's probably the hardest 3-4 weeks to get through. And why most guys are like, oh, I'm losing my need to introduce carbs back, and then they ruin their whole cut, and the metabolism levels out, and they're done. Nothing's easy, though. It's like cutting's not easy, bulking's not easy. You're going to look a little fluffy when you're bulking. You're going to look a little flat when you're cutting. You're going to be full when you're bulking. You're going to be hungry when you're cutting. So it's like either side of the spectrum has its pros and cons, if you will. But try and play mental tricks on myself, so I'll wear a bigger T-shirt for 4 or 5 weeks during that period, and just don't look at yourself, or put a sweatshirt on at the gym. It might sound mental, but I mean we're all a little bit mental in this sport, and if you're here, you're probably trying to better your physique and your mental capacity to an extent. So there's always, a mental trick you can play with yourself to keep yourself going. I just tell guys to know that you're going to go through a 4 or 5 week period ish where you're not going to feel like you look the best or feel like you are at your best while you're also meal prepping. Every meal's going down A, B, C, D, E. It's like you're doing everything in order, everything's dialed in, and you look in the mirror and you're like, what the fuck? It's tough. I can totally understand it. Some of you guys definitely know what I'm talking about, but I would just give yourself that mental block and be like, this is coming. I know this is about to happen. And then just try not to look at yourself. Try and not make biased opinions in the mirror. Just like, don't make a meal plan or a cardio change based on how you look in the mirror in the morning. That's kind of why I got a coach in the first place too. It was like I was making way too many changes week to week, if not day to day, based on how I looked or how I felt I looked in the mirror in the morning. And it's like how you view yourself is completely different. It's like I would, for the first 6 months, 8 months when I was working with my coach, I was questioning pretty much everything. Like, why aren't we changing anything? Why aren't we doing this? Why aren't we doing that? And he would just be like, because it's working. Why are we going to fix something that's not broken? And it's a mental F, if you will, for a while till you get over that, like, that mental blockage of, I don't know if it's an insecurity or what it is, but we all deal with it to an extent. And it's easier for somebody else to tell you, eat more, eat less, do the same thing, keep going, you look fine. It's in my pictures or my check-ins that I sent to him, I'm like, I look like shit this week. And then he'll text back, oh, I look way better than last week. Lats are coming in, this, that, and the other thing. And I'm looking at the pictures, I'm like, what the fuck is he seeing that I'm not? You know? So I think we all see ourselves much differently than other people. And even some of you that have lost weight or gotten in shape over the last few years, your family's probably been like, oh, dude, you're doing great, this and that. And you're like, not where I want to be yet, but thanks. So we all have our own goals and we all have our own mental blockages. And I wouldn't put too much stress on yourself with those bias changes and stressful insecurity views in the mirror in the morning. And just, I guess what I'm saying is forego all that. Focus on what you're doing. I'm bulking, I'm cutting, and just stick with it. Know that you are going to get there eventually. Don't make any changes. Don't screw up your ride. That sort of thing. It's like, don't put the car in reverse when you're going 80 miles an hour down the highway. It's kind of that analogy, to be honest. Most people do. They like flip the car over when they're almost at the finish line. It's simply just because of the biased opinions we make about how we feel. It is more common in the industry than people think. A lot of the yo-yo dieting is due to that too. People get addicted to how they start to look in the beginning, so they slash calories like crazy. In 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they're down 20, 30 pounds. They're like, holy smokes, this is awesome. And they're back up 50 pounds in the next 3 months. It's like, you can't sustain 800 to 1,000 calories every single day. A good takeaway too is like your body wants to strip the muscle off first. So like if you take one of these GLPs and sit on the couch, you're going to lose muscle tissue first because it's calorically dense tissue. It requires heartbeats, extra heartbeats, more blood to push around. That's why the size of the heart grows as you build more muscle. So your job in a cut is to simply send the signal to maintain muscle and to keep it. So you don't go catabolic. And if you are in an energy deficit, quote unquote, your body's going to tap into those fat stores for energy because it's getting a signal that it's under load 5 days a week, 4 days a week, three days a week, whenever you're in the gym. And it needs to maintain that muscle or else it could potentially die. It's like the body's a giant maintenance homeostasis machine, and it wants balance and it wants equilibrium every step of the way. So if you push it off, it's going to fight back every single time. So you're going to lose fullness, you're going to lose a little bit of size, you're going to lose a little bit of glycogen in the muscle, but don't freak out. Run the cut, keep going. A couple weeks of bad workouts is not the end of the world. And then when you reintroduce the food, you're going to look even better. Another point I can make too is periodic cheat meals or refeeds, some guys will call them. And it's more of what a coach would do or tell you to do if he were viewing your situation. Like, I wouldn't suggest anybody make this decision on their own, but if you have been pretty strict with your diet 2-3 weeks and you are really depleted, you could benefit from a burger and fries some sort of cheat meal like that, just to refill and fill out a little bit. Sushi's another one you could do. Not for everybody, and it's kind of a rare case where somebody needs a refeed unless you're actually bodybuilding and in a prep setting. But if you do feel like you're in that sort of limbo, like feeling like shit, flat, workouts aren't that great, and you've been dialed in with your diet for a while, yeah, throw a cheat meal in, and then try and work out the next morning or the next day and see how that feels, see how you look. You might look crazy, so don't get addicted to it. Don't eat another burger and fries that night. But if you do benefit from that, you look crazy. Some of my guys are doing that once a week. Just really person to person. Off the top of my head, that's pretty much kind of what I wanted to go over and just talk about my opinion on it and why you do feel that way, why we all feel that way. Maybe somebody benefited from this, hopefully. I know that I've always dealt with that biased switches and just making changes that are stupid, unnecessary. Yeah, I figured it'd be a good one too to go over since everybody, or most of us, are probably in a cut for the summer and gonna go through that limbo phase where we feel flat and fat. Yeah, it's not fun, but just know it's coming. It's kind of like you put yourself in a diet. You know you're gonna be hungry. Just know you're gonna deal with some of those mental, conflicts or whatever you want to call them. Just tricks your mind's trying to play on you. If you don't have a coach, definitely think about it. It's not that you can't do it on your own, but like I said, the switches and the changes week to week can be tough to make on your own if you're viewing your own check-in pictures or trying to coach yourself. But I hope some of this info helped you guys. Maybe reflect on your own situations, whatever. And yeah, shoot me a DM on Instagram if you have any questions. You want to go over something. I answer every DM and be happy to help any of you guys. But with all that being said, have a great morning, evening, day, whenever you're watching this. And we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.